in sports and doping in sports. Chapter 10. So, learning objectives. So, meaning and concept of sports training. The principle of sports training, warming up and limbering down, skill, techniques and style, concept and classification of doping, prohibited substance and their side effects, dealing with alcohol and substance abuse. So sports training is indispensable in the field of game and sports. So, sports training guy indispensable. The games ba sports no saka training to jesa kapan cholo abuja games jesa tuna thanga to training jesa kapan nango. So games to go so sports training nango. In fact, without appropriate training in the field of sport, it is impossible to reach at the top positions. Mane training करेंगे sports so really top position like a medal tunani am troka very difficult and the thang matter. So training is most important. So owing to this reason, sports training is widely used in this field. Changai of reason ibata no jago sports training jago feel sports training directly or indirectly aims at improving the personality of a sportsman, which ultimately helps in enhancing his or her sports performance. Sports training was help directly or indirectly mane bini je aims bono improve khoi bini personality sports by ke thangnai bini mane bono tebo bono develop kayo sport person about training di kangkai, which ultimately helps in enhancing sports performance. Tebo kaham nai first sanga meaning and concept of sports training. Sports training tamo the word training is not new. Words training to new ya bujo to train kayo. Okay, people have been using this word since period sanga agi no hitono words no use kai. Training means the process of preparation for some tasks. Okay, training kita mo preparation kanya ni ani abog just panyo kasi competition kang kabuyaban pala training practice kayo abanam. But in the field of sports, our main task is fitness and conditioning for sports and games. Defanyo sports so katama main ga fitness nango bini health kamu nangai and conditioning for sports and games pas sports ngada kai fitness or fitness very important go main task ngabong fitness shorit kam tong ngashi body kam tong ngashi pro kam pa perform kai mane. It is only due to these reasons this term is mostly used in sport and games. So it is only due to this reason or reasoning fitness ba conditioning but this term is mostly used in sports and games training, right? So it is called sports training. Sports training. The concept of training and sportsman's preparation seems to coincide but are identical. The concept of training concept and sportsman preparations manage sports thunani the preparation makani training preparation seems to coincide like same preparation but training coincide but are not identical. Tipo nung tabok sa many preparations but training same haino tipin no identical but are not identical mas solai mo lang sa many preparation is broader both in volume and content. The preparation kita mo broader both volume the content. In fact, preparation is a complex process. Mane balai preparation mane complex or complicated process and indirectly influences the sports person development sports person development and ensures that the necessary degree for readiness for success preparation bobusuk ready bobusuk ready bini success ni bata bobusuk preparation bobusuk develop this complex system includes sports training preparation sports training sports competition as a form of preparation. So preparation by training preparation training special nutrition etc. Preparation. Sports training is the main component and basic form of preparing for sports person. Sports just sports sports training belly. In other words, it is a systematically plain preparation with the help of various exercises. And systematically like a system bongi training maintain regular preparation with the help of various exercise training. So the content of sports training includes all the basic type of preparations of the sports person. The content of sports training or all the basic type of preparation sport money pro basic hote advanced sports training systematic training system level level 1 level 2 level 3 systematic training systematic training improves that athlete fitness level like level 1 hote level 2 level 2 level 3 direct level 1 hote 2 3 thanga ka belai bong systematic niya. So I think bata bong system ka bong training ka jago so that athlete needs fitness training bata fitness importance of fitness bong level increase. It is the basic of his or her preparedness for achievement in the field of sports. It is the basic of his or her sports thang thungkang bini basic basis. It is the basis of his or preparation bo prepare khai thanga kahang prepare khai thanga bo achieve khai manai feel as a preparation hamle anga so hamne. So the physical exercise which are used in training have a profound effect on the physical development of an athlete. The physical exercise bro khai mane are used in the training use have a profound effect on the physical development of an athlete. The physical exercise training physical athlete development physical development improve. But the systematic and regular use of physical exercise does not ensure further improvement in the performance. Therefore, your back session yo systematic thing no borok khai thango level pari thango the regular physical exercise khayo does not ensure further improvement performance so improvements bhayang thango. There are other factors which are necessary for good performance in sport, such as spatial rehabilitation, treatment, use of supplementary through extra training, extra competitions, means for assessments to performance capacity, spatial nutrition, psychological factors, etc. So abroba important there kubang factors tongo bongni gym very important necessary nangsago bongni good bongni performance no better khanya bata sports so system spatial rehabilitation treatment tang da abro bongno spatial ka naijang nai by treatment khajang nai so use of supplementary extra training te bro extra training na extra training ka punsila bishi khajang it is bongni performance ka hangnai bro the extra competitions khayo bro means of assessment of performance capacity, special nutritions like nutrition fitness so psychological factors etc psychological factors etc so in order to achieve the best results so like metal romana badangke like best result in order to achieve best result all the above mentioned factors are to be used along with the physical exercise. So the factors is special rehabilitation treatment the use of supplementary extra training extra training then extra competitions so means of assessment of performance capacity, spatial nutrition psychological factors. So with regular exercise and systematic more training body better performance at a health common. So sports training must be understood as a specialized process of all-round physical strengthening aims at the preparation of sports person for performance in games and sport. Sports training must be understood. Sports training understand makanya as a specialized process. The process for specialized process of all-round physical strengthening. Physical no busuk strength busuk like exercise kaiba busuk nichiro strong kaiba nam take physical strengthening aim at the preparation of sports person just strong khangai is needed sports like fitness but strong tongai so the preparation of sports person for performance games of performance kind of but sports songai sports training is a systematic and regular process about sports training to kaise systematic system kama cholo the regular del ma khaitungo so which is generally used for longer durations like sports longer duration like sports kind of training do so there is longer duration so it is regular mechanical. Sports training should be based on scientific factors so sports training based on scientific factors not based on scientific factors if we want to get good results in competition competition result come scientific factors if that is not possible it should be based on the results of successful practices successful practices so definition of sports training the following definition may be helpful to understand the meaning of sports training. The definition about sports training helpful according to Medvedev sports training is the basic form of preparation of sportsmen sports training preparation basic preparations sportsmen sports preparation so according to Martin sports training is a plain and control process when a plain plain training and control process control process in which for achieving goals aim changes in complex sports motor performance so changes in complex sports motor performance ability to act and behavior are made through measures of contents and methods and organization like in which changes in complex sports motor performance like changes motor performance changes in sports different sports and different training so changes makanya ability to act and behavior like kubang borok thongna thang jaga bhai ke ek like some balok nervous so abrok choton tomai and behavior by are made through measure of contents so methods and organization so methods borok bang ma and organization so abka Martin sagaro and measures saka sports training is a basic form of preparations of sportsmen so again according to Hare sports training is based on specific knowledge sports training tama bokaisa specific knowledge so specific knowledge but based on scientific knowledge and a pedagogical process of sports perfections which sports training based on scientific knowledge knowledge of base and pedagogical process of sports perfections which through systematic effects on physical psychophysical performance so psychophysical performance ability and performance readiness aims at leading a sportsman to top level of performance so sports training based on scientific knowledge and knowledge sports sports knowledge in a pedagogical process of sports perfection mane sports no by ke perfect ko trang by ke kaham ka thungnai am type through systematic effects system ka matnai and psychophysical performance mane niche ni performance buti hai abrok check ma khanya so ability and performance readiness mane nong so ready tong sports pro de del ma thung tong so busuk ready tong performance na kata so aims at leading a sportsman to top level performance mane bin aims tong nai bo top thangam sung nai bin level of performance but the top thanam sung so that is all. Sports training is a systematic process with the objective of improving an athlete fitness an athlete fitness no bhai ke improve khai thanai or regular khai in a selected activity or baksa select activity selected activity baksa activity select khai so it is a long term process man koloma process that is progressive and recognize the individuals athletes needs and capabilities so our long term process so is progressive moment improve khai jong nai gabono sini bothane bhai ke or individual ni bobusuk mini capability strong the sports training programs use exercise or practice to develop the qualities required for an event. Sports training programs tam rakhaisa exercise or practice kono practice khaijago exercise khaijago to develop qualities required for an event mane just bano tabo inter the national level performance khanya kabini or exercise khaijana practice khaijana mane bini sore bini qualities tebo improve khai ongta mane if ma o competition bata. So it can be said that sports training is based on specific principles. So sports training tamo based on specific principles, not about principles. Sports training based on specific principles. It helps in preparing a sports. It helps in preparing a sports man for FX performance in sports competition. Tam sportsman helps kayo so that performance FX performance reman kaham performance reman sports competition. So sports training is the main element sangkai main elements to get highest achievement in sports. Mane just mane achievement kaya medal tunan in the sports training kaya element mane sports train kaya training sara pun mane pun performance asa kaham mane so sports training belai main elements the belai importance highest achievements kana musung kangkai jore sports but highest achievements cannot be achieved only through this training depend on training swimming jui ba mane top one or medal lok gold medal lok tu hai meta but highest achievements can be so other factors also play major roles depend on bujoton training kayo so baksa key features dong above factors play kai so but in it is a given fact that in preparing the sports person so basically for high level of competition mane as a national international but a high level competition but sports training plays an important role and sports training to makanya so all other factors seem to be useless in its absence okay so sports training to fast ma tonai pon pre abo kari mane just sports training kori hate kuno factors were useless haja like just nutrition hato training dia ka kuno mane useless haja. So principle of sports training sports training tam principle na in fact sports training is an intricate process sports training tam boka intricate process by preparing sports person for higher performance mane boti boka performance khama am ta preparing for higher performance and the whole process does not depend only on successful training practice but on finding of sports medicine sports biomechanics exercise physiology sports psychology and etc. So the whole process to training was successful training practice was depend kaya but also kubang sports medicine on like sports medicine tam tang sport biomechanics on like exercise physiology exercise sports psychology and etc. So the knowledge from the above mentioned subdiscipline of physical education has to be applied into actual practice. So actual practice on knowledge strong above mentioned any medicine biomechanics exercise physiology sports psychology etc. Discipline subdiscipline of physical education have to be applied into the actual practice so applied makanida the principle of sports training assess and the principle of sports training the more assess mane oppose kama in the tasks of applying knowledge so applying knowledge of these subdisciplines into more subdisciplines mangno mane these are not under the discipline right into practice so more oppose khai the principle of sports training tama mane morong no use apply ta khai ne po mane oppose khai ta block khai okay these principles of sports training serve as directives for the coaches and sports person the principle of sports training serve as directives for the coaches mane block kasha direction for khayo mane coaches mane pon je train khai pa sports person bata for the formulation of the training process the important principles of training are described below formulation of training process ni bata important process mane trainings principle of trainings described khayo so the principle of continuity first the principle of continuity according to these principles training should be a continuous process the principle continuity mungsi principle continuity training tamai continuous process mangai te kuno break man hai so this should not be any break okay there should not be any break regular ma khane tini khaiga khana khaigam taida tini khaiga khana khale tini khaigam tai mangya tini khaiga khana khaigam taida regular ma chone. In fact, there should not be long period of inactivity mane kubang ma somai like tini khaiga 2 days like break na ka 3 days break na ka something na nanya ta mane regular ma khane. So about no principle continuity, it has been observed that discontinuity of training reduces the psychological capacities of sports person mane bini capacities, the physiological capacities bini reduce bini ki. So along this, the intervals between 2 training sessions should be maximum but not too long mane along this interval training sessions maximum na diban aso kubang ma yata aso kubang ma yam training sessions ni bising mane kisa maximum mang na diban aso kolok ma suma training training mo khai. So the principle of overload, and overload on the principle of overload states that there should be greater than normal load. Normal load ni select kisa extra makanya on the body as required for training adaptation to take place. So that abo adopt khaisi to bini bini habit adopt khaisi to okay. It means that training load should be increased. Training ni load ta today for like 2 hours practice kaya, so that should be practice for 3 hours. Okay, kisa increase makanya, so it should be increased for improving the performance. So the increase is a load kaya should be performance better mane of sports person. The normal training load cannot improve the performance mane but same 2 hours practice kaya abon same thing to. So next time within 2 hours kaya next day average kisa overload makanya. If the training load remains static mane same to have the effectiveness of the load diminishes with the passes of time mane bini effectiveness of load make a comment at time baksa it can only maintain the active adaptations of load okay. Mane bini adapt mane bini habit no bo adapt khai na mane te like fix ke mane. It means that for the continuous improvement of performance the training load should be increased. Like performance better khanya mo song ka to load kisa bunchile extra makanya kisa bunchile extra work makanya am. So bini training load to increase makanya should be increased after the adaptation of previous training load. Like today 2 hours 3 hours training likha, so 3 hours training am load amno jodi adapt khama next time upon 4 hour loads na, so next time 4 hours loads bo soima hanga 1.5 hours samke increase makai thani tanga 4 hours 3 hours also same to na. And for example to increase endurance muscles mass work for a longer period of time than they used to. Endurance no increase kanya muscles kubang mas somani bata makam kanya for a longer period of time than they used to. So the principle of individual difference. So principle of individual difference according to this principle, every sports person is different due to individual difference. Okay, principle limited. Every sport person is different due to individual difference. Mane joto na alka mane jani sports practice khai mane joto alka same bro mane adapt khai mane jani alka techniques song am. Each sports person responses to exercise or load will definitely vary. So a training program should be modified to check individual difference in the following considerations. So some consideration: large muscle heal slower than smaller muscles. Okay, large muscles sangai bodakna ham payo heal slower than smaller muscles. So large muscle hits slower than smaller muscles. Mane je kotoma muscles karida bo hamna lena slower mane smaller muscles inside. So first twitch muscle fibers recover quicker than slow twitch muscle. Mane first twitch muscles or the fibers hampane that slow twitch muscles fibers inside. The first or explosive movements require more recovery. First mane explosive that movements mane borok recovery tebo nango then slow movements. So that is the principle of individual difference. So that is so the principle of general and specific preparations by the preparation for the improvement of general performance, both the general and specific preparation are equally significant. So just when improvement performance general and specific preparations are equally significant. Final general and specific preparation general preparation serve general preparation serve as the base for specific preparation preparation ni bata bos kaja base ta base special preparation but as a matter of fact the performance will be better if the base is better. So level 1 or level 2 so that general preparation increases the functional capacity of all body system and organs. General preparation increases the functional capacity of all body system and organs increase specific preparation is further required to improve those muscles and organs. Specific preparations both improvement systems organs further improve those systems but organs for improve always performance of sports persons directly depends increase. For example, the speed improved through running will be also beneficial in football. So running or improving speed increase football help. So next number is the principle of progression. So the principle of progression according to this principle the overload should not be increased too rapidly. When overload as increase directly increase today 3 kg next day today jodi load khaima kangka pabro bini adapt kangka bini je half it but 4 kg like 2 days 3 days practice kangka next day 5 kg na am taketa. So overload directly increase khaimia tamte kisa kama tamte if the overload is increased too rapidly it may result in injury or muscle or damage যদি overload বেছি increase না হয় muscle বা injury muscle damage থানে মানে হামিয়ান থানে muscle so exercising above the target zone can be dangerous মানে বেলাই overload খাই মানে target zone সলে তিনি like 5 hours ni khaina pore direct 7 hours thanga ka mo target ju ni belai baire thang ba khaso bonono target job belai dangerous man ta crisis samnai ja principle of progression also make us realize the need for proper rest and recovery so the principle of progressions like also makes us realize the need for proper rest sangka mane progression thik bin improvement khai tongo tam potential bon man hanai te recovery bo man hanai jang recovery amna ta kisa rest na so the constant overload can lead to exhaustion and injury so constant overload kisa khai jong hangkai exhaustion bisa lengnai te injury rong nai te kisa mane muscle ba damage thane so that is the principle of progression so the principle of specificity so principle of specificity tam saka this principle state that exercising a certain part or component of the body primarily develops that part hangkai mane ta like one hand role khato kaisa hands so a part to develop thanai da hangkai it means that to become better at a particular exercise or skill you must perform that exercise or skill mane better nam so hangkai exercise no abel del no practice ma khani for example a runner should get trained by running a swimmer by swimming and a cyclist by cycling mane ta runner ga bokhaching ga mama kai jena jodi bo runner thino runner bo direct swimming go thang hangkai basuk running go kaham khai mani tam bo running si practice khai jong running on kaham kama practice khai jena like the principle of active involvement last ngasem the principle the performance of an athlete is the result of athlete efforts hangkai the performance of an athlete the athlete performs khai hangkai is a result bini nije result mane hangkai and the coach skill mane bonus of train khane bini coach or training khane and athlete sport effort or nije effort ma khane the principle of active involvement means that for active training program mane effective training program the athlete must participate actively and willingly mane bo nije no actively nije no like bono ke force khaya nije no hoyto no bo actively ba willingly sa jong hoyto no bo or sports বা games no participate makanya so the principle of variety terms saka training is a long term process like training hote chereng hote no training khayo and load bo baksa weight of load no hol khayo e brong bo kaisa training long process and recovery build and recovery can become boring for both athlete and coaches mane recovery hinga bro boring thane mane tangai agin hote no kisa muscle damage ko maki injury ko bon recover so bon bhada boring thang mane as consider khaya bro so a successful coach should build in variety in the training programs to maintain the interest and motivation of an athlete so successful coach ma tongne mong je train khanya ma tongne should build in variety in the training program so training program bo successful coach ma tongne so that bo interest khai jong man motivation ji tong man je athlete bro so sometimes change and variety may be done by changing the nature of exercise okay so change sometimes change bong thamana kisa different bong thamanta anga by changing the nature of exercise as exercise change the time of the day of the sessions mane kisa change in thong tini ta 2 o'clock haina ka 3 o'clock haina thong so training groups and the environment so the principle of warm up and cool down principle warm up khane that is a cool down khane so warm up through low intensity activity increases blood flow to the working muscles and prepare them for high intensity sports like warm up ma khane just like exercise khane just upon sports thunga tharanga warm up ma khayo through low intensity da mane low intensity activity mane like tam requirement khai like level 1 odam take low intensity activity increases mane low intensity warm up to kai simple exercise so low intensity activity increases blood flow to the working muscles mane blood flow khayo je muscles no bro just like for the singers also bro warm up ma khayo dancers so warm up so am to sports so bro warm up ma khay and prepare them for high intensity sports mane low intensity like it is warm up khay small like it is simple exercise ko bon high exercise like high intensity sport thana bro level ne chikono ti matha so proper warm up usually increases the body temperature proper warm up khai kan bong body temperature increases by 1 to 2 degrees like 1 to 2 degrees so warm up khai next level thanga bong temperature 2 degrees thanga bro tebom fitness body thang bong temperature body thanga bro tebom kaham performance kamane after training cooling down helps in transferring blood from working muscles back to vital organs of the body so training ni pore cooling down helps khai bong transferring blood je bong from working mane blood bro working blood working ni hoite pura back of mane original position of cooling down helps get blood from working muscles back to vital organs of the body it is necessary for removing the waste products okay waste products no remove khaman jaw help so the principle of rest and recovery so principle of rest connected kuma injuries nga bhagi recovery na we are well aware of the fact that the body regenerates during rest and become better and stronger than before we were well aware of the fact that the body regenerates khayo during rest so mane tesa regenerate khayo angai and become better and stronger than before mane rest na angai next time the performance kind of better khayo no angai so the trainings program should be conceived in such a way that there should be a proper rest mane after training rest ma tongai proper rest ma tongai and interval between training activities माने like tabuk training खाइले 2 hours नि परे माने 1 hours नि परे rest ना का तिसा rest ना परे like 20 minutes rest ना का next time तिसा थे के तिसा training खाइ तिसा rest ना काम थे के proper rest ना so that next time ते better performance खाइ माने so intervals between activities. So next one is the principle of ensuring results. So principle of ensuring results the apex aim of sports training is to attain good results. तम apex aim का जो sportsman तम मो काम results खाने but training खायो sports खायो so that being better performance ngो gold medal ba silver medal tuman. So the apex aim of sports training is to attain good results जो तो काम results नि बता काम खायो. So it can be said that sports training aim is to enable the sports person to put up better performance in the competitions. So it can be said that my Simon sports training ni aim ngata sports person no better performance खाइ माने competition था कहाँ performance खाइ माने. Therefore this principle aims at guaranteeing good performance and maintaining it for longer time. माने good performance को बांगा समझनी बता जरी sports तो हंगाई ब्रोक अब ना maintain खाइ तो माने training में बाक्स माने training खाइ क्या next time performance improve का ब्रोक अब longer period ने बता ब्रोक maintenance खाइ तो माने so longer period. However, without implementation of other principle, this principle cannot be applied. माने इतने कोई principle apply खाइ सा वो principle apply खाइ में. So proper stress should be laid on implementation of other principle by the coach or physical education teacher. Okay, physical education teacher. So proper stress should be laid. माने stress tam tam mana hanai आप जो तो ना coach by आप जो तो principal जो coach by साजांग नंगे माने coach बना प्रथम में first ने training date होगा नंगे by physical education teacher बना साने time time. So the principle of cyclicity मतलब sports training programs are developed through various training cycles such as macrocycles, mesocycles and microcycles. So sports training programs develop खाइ जब कुछ training cycles होते हैं the macrocycle तो आप लोग mesocycles तो microcycles तो macrocycles is the longest cycle training. So macrocycle तो हम longest cycle training माने मतलब बिशी cycle कौन सो माने बता rock cycle मा training माने cycle मा चालू होता. So longest cycle training duration of which 3 to 12 months approximately. So 3 to 12 months चलो and mesocycle is training cycle for medium. So mo kasi training mang sido training का macrocycle ni बता बस months bro 3 to 12 months practice makanya माने bro train makanya and mesocycle ni बता bro 3 to 6 weeks like as a practice makanya microcycle micro to so microcycle is the shortest duration cycle which may be for 3 to 10 days. So basic training makanya microcycle bata 3 to 10 days and macrocycle macro money bang so that will be like 3 to 12 months and meso means 3 to 6 weeks month first month got 3 to 12 months 3 to 6 weeks and after 3 to 10 days. So warming up and limbering down. So warming up the limbering down.